Yeah. Hey, man. I get the first word in this one.
I was like, I don't want to.
Should
I don't
I
want to
say it?
Go ahead.
Okay, we're live.
Go ahead, take it.
Oh, man. Well, man, I'm not used to doing this. I don't open this show. What the? You're putting me on the spot.
This is all right. I'm going to sit back and let you lead.
All right. Well, welcome to Being Humanist, show number 11.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and this would be our fourth consecutive week. I think we've actually nailed down a day that we're going to do the show.
It's funny how that works out.
Yeah. Mondays, so it would generally be available either late Monday night or early, sometime during Tuesday. Sometime Tuesday. Could be at late Tuesday, who knows?
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah. And as Mike likes to say, you can contact us at Beinghumanist.podcast at gmail.com. Did I get that right? Did I get that right?
Beinghumanist.podcast at gmail.com.
Yes, okay.
That's it.
Definitely contact us there. Like us on Facebook, because I'm going to be selfish and say that's where I spend most of my time in social media. And I'd like to interact with you people, those of you that are listening. I did notice that we've gotten a couple more that have liked the page and have given us the thumbs up on a couple of our posts, which, yeah.
Which you've been doing most of here lately.
Yeah, I mean, anytime I come across something thought-provoking, I'd like to share it. But yeah, so that's it. That I did a horrible job of introing the show, so I apologize to all of our listeners for that terribly unprofessional.
We're on YouTube too.
Oh yeah, we are on YouTube. See, you should have done this.
YouTube.com/Beinghumanist.podcast.
Right, and there's also the what is it?
And it's Facebook.com/Beinghumanist.podcast.
Yeah, and for like direct downloads and things like that, there's Beinghumanist.libsyn.com.
Yes, for those who search who get us directly from Libsyn, but I think most of it comes from iTunes.
Yes, that
almost all of it comes from iTunes.
Yeah, it seems to be the place where we're getting our most listens.
Which is fantastic, because that means we don't have to do any work.
No.
We can just sit here and talk.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, hey. Hello, everyone. It's been a good day for me.
See, I'm thrown by this, too, because normally it's like, I'm Mike.
Oh, yeah. This is the last time I'm introing the show. Never again.
Dude, I don't care. It's just, I don't know. I don't know why I did it that way. It's just how I started doing it. I guess it's because I listened to everybody else do theirs. And
hey, well, that's good. I mean, if you think about it.
Everybody's thrown off right now. They have no idea what to do.
Any real, radio show or something, they're going to have some sort of an intro, like.
Yeah. One day we'll have to produce our own actual intro. I mean, there's a lot of different podcasts that have really awesome intros.
Right.
Whatever.
Yes. Like I said, good day, but once again, the skies are nice and clear. I can see Jupiter shining bright, almost directly above us probably by now. But it's so freaking cold, and there's so much snow on the ground, and I don't want to put my wooden base out. So I'm a little depressed that, again, clear sky, not a good night.
2 shows in a row, we talk about your wood. Your wooden base. Okay, sorry. A little bit. Yeah, so anyway, 11 shows. Moving on.
Heck yeah.
Yesterday was a big day. We had
the superb owl.
The superb owl, according to Stephen Colbert. The superb owl was on yesterday. At least one team showed up to play.
Ugh.
But
unfortunately, not the one I wanted to show up.
And I don't know that this is going to get old because we've talked about it the last few shows. However, yesterday was the Super Bowl. All I could think about was what was going to happen 2 days later, which is tomorrow now.
Right.
Which is the debate. That's all I could think about. In fact, I finished listening to The Thinking Atheist talk about that debate and listening to other people talk about it. So,
well, I mean, it's a big deal. I mean, it could be great. It could be disastrous. I mean, we can only hope that Bill Nye will kind of reach back into the past when Well, he still goes around and speaks to people and tries to make science understandable to those that.
Mm-hmm. Which could make him the perfect person to do this because he's used to helping the layman understand science.
Right, and he's very, very adept at doing so. So, you never know. He might create a couple of moments of inquiry amongst the crowd there. But that we can only hope. For me, if he changes the views of one person in the audience, it's a victory.
Namely, Ken Ham.
Well, that's not going to happen.
Even if he does believe, I don't think he cares. He's making money.
Sure he is.
That's about all I wouldn't doubt one bit in my mind that he, I don't know. What do you think? You think he believes?
I'm in no position to say whether he does or not.
Yeah.
I mean, if he says he believes, I'm just going to go ahead and take him on his word that he is a believer.
Yeah.
There are some, like, do you know who Ray Comfort is?
Yes.
There are people out there who feel that Ray Comfort is just a snake oil salesman and doesn't care as much about all of this as he pretends to. And I don't know if they have any evidence for that, but I like to not speculate one way or the other on those issues just because...
It's not you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I can't know whether Ken Ham or Ray Comfort or Kirk Cameron or... Because, they're buddies, Kirk Cameron and Ray Comfort.
Did you see the video that I shared?
Oh, yeah, the child actors.
Child stars against Kirk Cameron.
Yeah, they call their organization COCK or something like that.
Yeah, how did that...
I don't know. COOCK. Oppose...
I think it was COCCKS or something, but whatever.
Maybe.
It was good. Maybe we should link that in the show just so people can see it.
Yeah.
Or we could post it on our Facebook page.
May as well.
That was pretty humorous. I enjoyed it.
I agree.
You see, actually today we were supposed to have a guest on the show. And hey! Lord.
We don't know what he wants us to call him yet.
Andrew?
Yeah, that was suggested.
Our dear friend Andrew was going to be on the show, and I'm guessing he will listen to this tomorrow or when. Who knows? He may. And he'll hear us talking about him and the fact that he canceled on us this morning. Thank you, sir.
Hey, we understand.
And then we tried to get our buddy Adam to come back on the show this morning, only to find out that he had gone through a medical procedure and they were not allowing him to drive. Maybe we could have pulled off the Google Plus and had him on, but oh well, too late now.
Yeah, well.
So it's just Keith and I, and this may be a short show because I think we were expecting an origin story from someone.
Right.
So
which it's just fine. I mean.
Yeah. It's okay. We can do this.
We can have a short show every once in a while, considering like we had an hour and 40-some minute show and then an hour and 30-some minute show the past two.
That's pretty impressive. I didn't know I could talk that long.
Well, we just discussed that the Super Bowl was yesterday.
Well, actually, before we need to make sure. The reason I brought that up was because I wanted to make sure that yes, that debate is happening tomorrow, and you can actually watch it for free on a live stream if you go to their damn website.
Yes.
answersingenesis.org. You can actually stream it from their website, and if I get the show up, I don't see it happening. People are gonna be listening to this after this happens. But regardless, that's where it's gonna be. And dang, now that I think about it, maybe this is pointless to be talking about. Let's just say I hope it works in our favor. Yeah, goodness. Okay, so anyway, yesterday was the Super Bowl, and I don't know, what'd you watch the Super Bowl for?
I watched it because I'm a a huge fan of Peyton Manning's, which, we're in Indiana. I've been an Indianapolis Colts fan for quite a while, and I have retained my attachment to Peyton Manning and followed him since he's left, so I was hoping that he would get his second Super Bowl ring. He didn't. But at the same time, if there were a team that were going to be playing against the Broncos in that situation, I guess the Seahawks are fine because it's a team that we're not used to winning the Super Bowl.
Yes.
So I am happy for the Seattle Seahawks
Yes.
and their fans.
They definitely showed that they could play football.
Absolutely. That defense is just amazing. And also, they played some offense yesterday.
Yeah.
So,
Even though, if I'm not mistaken, did Manning have better numbers than their quarterback?
no, probably he's Peyton Manning.
Yeah.
But he did also throw some costly interceptions.
Yeah.
So, it wasn't the outcome I was hoping for.
So why are we talking about football?
Well,
Well,
as you know, there's also another attraction that some watch the Super Bowl for.
exactly. Those 30-second plus spots that play in between plays. Those famous expensive commercials.
Right.
So, they played a really good one yesterday that just, I'm not going to lie, it touched me. It hit me pretty good as soon as it started playing, and halfway through, I'm thinking, wow, this is really good. So, rather than me going too far into explaining it, I'm going to go ahead and play it, and then we'll go from there. So, here it is. This is one of the commercials that was played during the Super Bowl. It is the now infamous Coca-Cola It's Beautiful commercial.
Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, por tus olas de gran sambar. Yo piscina sa kote sa ibabaw ng mga prutas. America, America, God shed His grace on thee. और वही चरे के साथ ताज तेरा छा, de la mer à la mer brilla. Verras-tu verrières-tu-retard from sea to shining sea.
No.
Outrageous.
Yeah. What the hell were they thinking?
Well, it seems to me that they were thinking that we at Coca-Cola recognize that America is a very diverse nation with several different races, cultures, ethnicities, blah, 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 whatever you want to say. And we're going to honor that by singing a song that is well known to all Americans in several different languages representing the diversity across the United States. Wouldn't you say that?
I would say that.
Yeah.
Uh,
And despite our differences, we are all one nation. We're all Americans, right?
that is what makes this country great,
Uh-huh.
according to you and I and
Uh-huh.
a number of other people. But then there's some others who think it's a horrible piece of shit.
Right, right. And all over language. Ethnocentrism, if you will. You know what ethnocentrism is? That's when someone believes that their culture is superior to other cultures.
Yes, you see, I'm guessing most of our listeners know that, or have felt throughout their lives that the United States, the people of the United States, think that, or a good portion, think that we're number one. We're the best at everything.
Right.
Which is obviously not quite the case anymore. And you can go look up studies and see, we have the worst problem with people in prison We are way, way below on education. I mean, the list goes on.
Life expectancy.
We're a very unhealthy country.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's interesting. So some people didn't like the fact that that Coke, an American company, decided to throw the song in there and have different people from different origins and different languages sing it.
Mm-hmm. I guess I didn't realize that Coke is not actually ran by the Koch brothers.
Oh.
Zing.
Oh my god. Okay, so I don't know. What did you think?
Well, when the commercial aired, I actually was watching it live, and as soon as the commercial was over, my wife turned to me and said, "I really like that commercial." And we were watching it over at my parents' house, who are both very conservative, far-right Christians. Religion doesn't really have a whole lot to do with this story, but neither of them said anything. I mean, and it could be because they didn't want to rock the boat, knowing that Amanda and I are of a different political persuasion.
Right.
But it just seemed like it wasn't that big of a deal, and there was a point where it was going, I kind of was looking around the room to see if my mom was going to say, "Why are they singing that song in a different language?" Because I have heard her say things like that before. I mean, she comes from a period and an area of the country where that's the way people felt. But no, I thought it was beautiful. I thought it was just a commercial celebrating the diversity of our country.
Exactly.
And I thought it was kind of a unifying message. Like, we are all, despite our differences, we are all Americans. You know?
Exactly.
And we should all get along. And that's what I took from the commercial.
I think you could take it into the humanist realm, if you will. I mean, coexisting with people who are different than you.
Right.
And those people who see your land as a place where hopefully your dreams can come true, or that you, like you said earlier, just showing love and appreciation for a land that has great possibilities.
Right.
Freedoms, a lot of freedoms.
And which is why we have such diversity. It draws people to our country because of the opportunity that they see here. And man, I'm just afraid that we're becoming a little xenophobic. Our air quote big time here natives seem to because they're not the natives. We all know that. I don't even have to explain that.
Yeah.
But they're just not. I feel like they're becoming less and less welcoming of other cultures and other. Think about the things that everyone in America is a descendant of an immigrant.
Yeah.
And here we are, just because we were born and raised here, our ancestors were immigrants to this country. But if you're a newer one, that's a different story. And if you don't speak our language, well, we don't even have an official language.
Which I just found out today.
Yeah.
We do not, the United States government does not have an official language.
Right.
However, states such as Indiana, actually we do. It is English. But the United States government does not have an official language.
Right. But it is, it's known that the most widely spoken language in the United States is English. Everywhere you go, you're going to see things in English. And so, regardless of if you see text in another language, English is always going to be in the forefront. Outside of maybe going to like Chinatown in some larger cities, but yeah, it's I don't know. I don't understand the problem with this.
When I'm watching it, I'm like, it touched me. It was just, wow, this is really awesome. They're being really inclusive here, and they're really trying to go on the fact that, hey, America is beautiful because of its diversity.
Right.
That's really what it comes down
Hell,
to.
can you imagine what they would have done if they would have seen they would have shown like a gay couple or something?
They did.
Oh, they did?
Yes.
Oh, I guess I didn't notice that.
I'm assuming it was just a visual, but there was, toward the end of the commercial, there was two men with a young girl, a child, at a roller rink.
Uh-huh.
And they were all holding hands and skating.
Ah, okay. So
there was that one scene. I don't know. I haven't heard many people speak about it, but I mean, who's to say that wasn't two brothers and a...
could have been.
It could have been, but regardless, it was celebrating differences.
Yeah.
I picked it as it was very possibly a gay couple, which was cool to me.
Mm-hmm.
But there was a whole lot of different visuals in there.
Right.
A lot. Shall we go into the first audio clip from one of our favorites?
Yeah.
And then we can go into the later half of this?
Sure. It's time
Okay.
it's time to talk reactions on the right.
So here's the reactions on the right. Starting with everybody's favorite Glenn Beck.
Everyone's favorite.
Do you have the
wingnut.
Coke ad?
Yes. That's a fun one.
Is it?
Yeah, it's a great.
So somebody tweeted last night and said, "Glenn, what did you think of the Coke ad?" And I said, "Why? You need that to divide us politically?
Mm-hmm.
What? Because that's all this ad is.
That's all it is.
That's all this ad is. This is to
an
divide
in-your-face.
people. It's an in your face.
Mhm.
And if you don't like it, if you're offended by it, then you're a racist.
Yep.
If you do like it, well, then you're for immigration.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it is. You're for progress. That's all this is to divide people.
Yeah.
What was it? Remember when Coke used to do the thing on the top of and they would all hold hands?
Like to teach the world to sing in
Yeah.
perfect harmony.
Right. And now it's, hey, have a Coke and we'll divide you.
Dun, dun, dun.
Now, tell me, actually, I think this commercial is incredibly similar to that old Coke commercial where everybody's holding hands and singing. I still think it's a message of unity, but his thing is saying if you have a problem with this commercial, then you're a racist.
I gotta be honest, not to interrupt you, but I feel like I didn't get that when I first watched it. I thought it was cool. It was just showing inclusivity, not necessarily. I didn't even think immigration.
I'm with you on that. I thought it was just a celebration of our diversity.
Yeah. It just...
I didn't put nothing political entered my mind until these yahoos started throwing it out there. It's like you have to politicize everything?
See, if anything, they've taken it that direction, and they've decided to politicize it.
Right.
Not Coke.
So exactly. He's calling Coke, he's saying Coke is guilty of being divisive. Yet, a lot of us didn't get that impression, but he's throwing it out there to make sure that it becomes divisive. Wow, Glenn.
Thank you for being Glenn. Thank you for doing what you do and giving us something to talk about.
What a tool bag.
But so here's the thing. When I got into work this morning, part of my job is working with social media, and this is one of these things that popped up in my feed, and I saw this. Somebody, it's publicshaming.tumblr.com, a post that they put up. A coworker of mine shared this with their comment just read, "Sigh." So, what this is, and I'll provide the link on the show notes, but it's just a bunch of tweets, comments about this as they're watching it. So I'm going to read a few, and I know that you haven't really read any of these.
Mm-hmm.
And there's some of these that are really horrible that I'm going to kind of...
oh, dear God, like the second one?
Yeah. So, Coca-Cola, your commercial sucked and I'm not drinking you anymore. America, English. I should say hashtag America, hashtag English. That one wasn't near as bad as that Coke commercial sucked. Mexicans, terrorists, Jews, and the N-word are not American.
So, Mexicans, Jews, and African Americans are not American.
Yeah.
Oh, terrorists are not American. Timothy McVeigh.
I hate to laugh about that, but yeah.
Brzezinski.
Unabomber. Yeah, so I feel un-American for drinking Coke today. I took an oath to defend this country. How is a song to our nation sang in different languages? What?
He didn't complete his sentence.
Obviously. Yeah, so thank you.
Oh, thank you for your service, but you're an idiot.
Let's see. There's some good ones in here, or horrible. I guess it depends on how you look at it.
I like this next one. Just let me say it real quick. Not a fan of that commercial. I speak English. You may speak English, but you're not a fan of grammar. You're not a fan of punctuation.
There's some better ones. Nice to see that Coke likes to sing an American. I should do like what Jacqueline Glenn did with one of her videos, where when it's in all caps, you emphasize it. So,
Okay,
so that's what I'll do. Shout out to Jacqueline Glenn.
Yes. Good channel.
Nice to see that Coke likes to sing an American song in terrorist language. Way to go, Coke. You can leave America.
Yes, Coke can leave America for this.
Yes. Let's see. Since when is it okay to sing America the Beautiful in any language other than English? Hashtag Coca-Cola, hashtag fail. Let's see. Here it is. From Danielle. It's called English. You're in America.
Y-O-U-R.
Y-O-U-R. You're in America. Not... This is what's so fun about this.
How does one own an in America? What is an in America? Can I get one?
But
Sorry.
it's like I know it's Twitter and it's supposed to be short form, but this doesn't make any sense. It's called English. You're in America. Y-O-U-R. So you're in America. ... Not 3,542 different languages. How does that even make sense? Am I reading it wrong?
We know where she's going with it, but her sentence structure is terrible, and her grasp of the English language must not be so great.
Honestly, don't think okay, yeah, I gotta read this without punctuation. Honestly, don't think I want to drink Coke anymore after they butchered the fuck out of America the Beautiful. Hashtag fuck Coke.
Okay, great.
Coke lost a lot of drinkers on that one. This is America, damn it. We speak English. They spelled damn it right.
Hey, good job. Hey, I like this one. Hashtag, he starts with the hashtag here. Hashtag fuck Coke. It's America and the USA language is English, not all this foreign shit.
Coca-Cola, this is America. To quote an American patriot, we speak English in this country. Who are they referring to?
You might have wanted to go ahead and add the
patriot
owner of that quote into the... Okay.
Which American patriot said that? That's what their comment is. Oh, this one is my favorite. This one might be one of my favorites. Still pissed about that Coca-Cola commercial. Get out of America, you assholes.
Yeah. Spelled whole as in like the whole thing. On the whole. W-H-O-L-E. Assholes.
Oh my God, look at this, Glenn.
Oh.
Do you want to do it? You want to read it?
Was the Coke commercial used to promote amnesty? Sorry, but not all Mexicans and foreigners are patriotic, and neither are some Americans. That was all caps.
All caps. Oh my. This is just impressive.
You know, it's things like this that separate the wheat from the chaff. We learn who the stupid people in this country are. And I'm not going to be nice on this show. I'm sorry. I've not read these, and I'm getting more and more angry as we go through.
Man. I don't think I read this one, but that kind of summed up why America is going down the toilet right now. Hashtag grow a pair America. Hashtag disrespect. Hashtag fuck Coke.
Yes, your tweet is part of the reason why America is going down the toilet right now.
Thank you, Michael. I'll just leave it at that. Some part of me wants to share these names and call name or their Twitter handle, but I'm not going to do that.
I like it. I'm not racist, but this is
Yeah.
America. We speak English. Hashtag Coke.
Anytime you start off with "I'm not racist," what were you going to say?
Exact same thing you were going to say. If you start off a sentence with "I'm not racist," you're about to say something racist.
Oh, jeez.
Let's take an American patriotic song and make it foreign. Good one, Coke.
It's just over and over and over again. Let's see. At Coca-Cola, I love your product, but your ad was very offensive. This country speaks English, damn it. Their comment is, the poster's comment of this Tumblr account. I think they are, what am I looking for?
Yeah?
Trying to explain what they're saying. Interpreting. That's what I'm
Okay,
looking for.
all right.
I have no control over myself and will continue to give you money for your sugary, addictive beverage, but no, I am unhappy with you. I'll never drink another Coke after that heinous, un-American commercial. I'm utterly disgusted. Hashtag Coke sucks. At least they spelled heinous, right?
Yeah. We should give him a pat on the back for that. Speak American. Is that what you're going to read?
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry. Speak American if you're Y-O-U-R, in America. Commercials are dumb.
There's no...
There's nothing to separate those two things.
Speak American if you're an American. Commercials are dumb. What was that? What was that one that we were joking about a couple weeks ago about dick bag or something like that? What was that? It reminds me of that.
Yeah. Speak American if you are in America. Commercials are dumb. Is it the commercials that are dumb, or is it you, Daniel?
I'm singing along till the foreigners came in.
Well, that's because... Yeah.
Oh man, this one they were actually making fun of themselves a little bit too. Coca-Cola is stupid. I don't know about you, but I speak English in America, and I'd like to keep it that way. Hashtag America.
America.
Oh man, I don't know. As I'm reading through these, I'm just like, you've got to be kidding me. Are people really... I honestly, I watched the commercial and I honestly was not expecting this.
No, I didn't either.
This goes back to the Indian American that won the Miss America pageant.
Oh, right, yeah. That was... The response to that was disgusting as well. So, I don't know, what is this whole... Why is it... I understand that it is probably a good idea to learn to speak English if you're going to live in the United States, but it's not a requirement. I mean, it's a good idea because everything is done in English here. But does it make you any less of a person if you don't speak English, or...
I wish I knew the best answer for that. I mean, I don't think it makes you any less of a person, but at the same time, there's the assimilation.
Yeah, right.
I mean, if you want to become a citizen, you have to pass the test that they give you, that goes over all the different facts about the history of the country.
Right.
A test that most Americans wouldn't pass in the first place who were lucky enough to be born here. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes, I do, yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, there's no official language for the country. However, most of us obviously speak English. there's a high population of Spanish, but you know, I mean, Canada, for instance, they have two languages going on. I mean, Quebec.
French?
I believe it's French and English that they have as official languages. I don't. It's
Well, the thing is, I think the point of the whole thing here is all these people are taking, well, some people are taking the opportunity to show their blatant racism. Their, like I said, ethnocentrism, like believing that our culture is superior to others. But then you have the other people like Glenn Beck that are trying to politicize it.
yeah.
And like this guy that said, was this commercial in favor of amnesty or what? I mean, like, what? Why?
Yeah, I read
Why
that.
couldn't this just have been a commercial that was shown? I don't know.
You know, the other thing that I did notice as I'm going through here, though, is, and this is the depressing notion, everybody that's on this, I'm not saying it's like this all over the place, but everything that they posted here, every poster is a Caucasian American,
Right, of course.
which, yay! Thanks again for making everybody else look bad. You know, I had some friends who posted about this on Facebook as well, a couple different friends, and everybody that posted on their status update was very positive about the commercial, and I took something positive out of that. It was, hey, at least all of us are positive. I mean, not everybody's bad.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to, but, and then a coworker of mine also said today, you know, the interesting thing is this is what makes America great. We're free to express our opinions.
That is true. I'm glad that they have that right, and they're using the platform of the internet. They're using the medium of the internet for that platform. But luckily, we have those same rights, and we're using our right to trash them and to basically expose them as the underlying message of what all these people are saying is they are ethnocentric and possibly a little bit racist.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sorry, but if you give me a reason that doesn't have to do with these people are different than us.
Yeah.
So give me one reason that would lead me to believe otherwise, that you are not claiming that our culture is superior to others. And maybe I'll listen.
So, okay, I think this is a good place to switch. But before we switch, I'm actually curious if of all of you who watch the Super Bowl and know this commercial, and were intrigued by it one way or another. It'll be kind of weird if some people who listen to us feel the same way that some of these people do, but I'm not gonna say it's not gonna happen. We'd love to hear what your thoughts are. As Keith mentioned earlier in the show, the website or the email is Beinghumanist.podcast@gmail.com. Please feel free to share your thoughts about it with us. I'll probably actually post the commercial on our Facebook page, and you can comment on our Facebook page as well. But
Being Humanist just got political.
I don't know. I guess we've been political here and there.
But that was just that whole story. I mean, I just think we were definitely stepping outside of our box just a little bit, which is fine. We are allowed to. It's our show.
And we are not. What do I want to say? We're not trained professionals.
No, we're not.
Don't take our words for it.
But like you said, that does have some aspects that concern humanism.
Yeah.
So it's probably a good thing that.
The commercial itself was beautiful. I was just blown away by all the negativity that surrounded it.
Mm-hmm.
That was all.
Yeah, it deserves mention.
My second favorite commercial from the Super Bowl. This is something you haven't watched yet.
Right.
it's this. I'm sure some of our listeners are aware of it, but this is a company called Goldie Blocks, and well, I'm gonna go ahead and play the commercial. It's you'll probably recognize the song that they use, but they've changed the lyrics and they have little girls singing it. And after the song, if I have to, I'll describe what happens throughout it, and that probably will be helpful. But I'll let Keith watch it for the first time as well, and then see what he thinks about it.
Come on, ditch your toys. Girls, make some noise. More than pink, pink, pink. We want to think. Gonna build, gonna grow our minds. Let me tell you, honey. Right now's our time. Right now's our time. Oh yeah. So come on, bring the toys. Girls build like all the boys. Time to fly, fly, fly.
Goldilocks, toys for future innovators.
Congratulations, Goldie Blocks. Intuit QuickBooks is proud to have put your small business on the big game.
Hey,
Very cool.
what did you think of that?
Very cool. It's a commercial that is basically showing toys that encouraging girls to be innovative and not just want to be pretty princesses.
They are, what the visual of the commercial is, all these girls are grabbing their toys, all their pink toys, their ovens, their stoves, their castles, their Barbies, their dolls. They're grabbing all their toys, and they're all converging into this single location where they've strapped all these toys together to a rocket that they've made, and they shoot it off into space.
Yeah, it was awesome. And I liked there was a line in there that said, "We want to think."
Yes.
Yes. I like that.
That might have been my favorite part.
Yeah.
I mean, talk about
Hey, us scientific bastards are coming for you all. We just made the Super Bowl commercials.
what I really love about it though is it's focused on women, little girls, and trying to get them involved in innovating in science,
Right.
and building things, which is for so long been a boy's world, you know.
And it doesn't need to be. It doesn't need to be exclusive to men.
This is this is freaking fantastic. I
Right.
love it.
Well-
It puts such a huge positive spin on things.
Yeah, it's very cool. And if I don't know if there are a lot of little girls that are going to like the Facebook page I fucking love science, but
There's a woman who runs it.
right. And she actually posts from time to time women who have made differences in science. Like everybody knows who Madame Curie is,
Mary Curie. Yeah.
But she'll post some other women, and also every once in a while there's a pretty cool little Facebook page that Mike and I refer to quite often. Transcend politics, embrace humanity.
Yes.
They will also post women who are very successful in the scientific community, and it should be encouraged because why limit ourselves to one gender or one sex? Why not put all of our minds together? Because women are freaking intelligent, man.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
You know, I was actually listening to a Christopher Hitchens debate the other day, the one that I was talking to you about, where he debated at a K through 12 school, Christian school academy in Texas. And there was one thing that he mentioned, which was the world would be a much better place if more women were involved
yeah.
in science and whatnot.
Let's utilize all of our resources of brains, you know? And one of my personal scientific heroes is Eugenie Scott, who used to be the head of the National Center for Science Education.
Okay.
And she's been instrumental in the fight against intelligent design and creationism in schools. And there's no reason there shouldn't be more women in the field.
Totally agree.
I think that I think what that commercial's trying to say is maybe they've been discouraged from it, and they're being, I guess, almost indoctrinated in this fashion that they should be a certain way, and they should embrace femininity and like do feminine things, like. But we've got to move past that because like I said, we need to use all of our brains, man, woman. I mean,
I'm thinking about those visuals, and you hear the girls screaming. I mean, they are charging
yeah,
through the neighborhood, screaming, and they're like they're making their presence known. And it's humorous because you see all these little boys who are playing with their bikes and whatnot, who are just like, "Where's this coming from?" You know, I thought that was huge.
very cool.
And along with the idea, I mean, this kind of goes toward. You're talking about why not use all of our brains?
Mm-hmm.
You know, why discourage anyone from doing any science or innovating?
Mm-hmm.
Neil deGrasse Tyson goes into that on his naming rights lecture, where he talks about the Middle Eastern culture before Islam really took hold, and how much of a crossroads that place was in with an exchange of ideas and whatnot. When you think about the fact that all our numbers are Arabic, you know, all these wonderful beginnings of science had a starting point in the Middle East.
Mm-hmm. Algebra comes from the Middle East. I mean,
Two-thirds or more of our stars are Arabian names.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, there's just a whole lot of really cool stuff. And then when religion kind of took over, it just stopped. And he makes a point to say that it's interesting how there's billions of Muslims.
Oh yeah.
And
It's the
when you compare how many billions of Muslims there are as Nobel Peace Prize winners, compared to I think they were making a comment about how many actual Jewish scientists and whatnot.
which is a tiny percentage of the world's
very
population.
tiny, and there's so many more.
Right. I thought that was Richard Dawkins who pointed that out.
Maybe both, but
Maybe both. I know Dawkins did it because he took some heat for it.
Neil deGrasse Tyson was talking about it in a lecture. I know. I remember him specifically talking about how important it was.
Okay. Well, he probably put it in a more tactful way than Richard Dawkins did.
Possible.
Richard Dawkins was in a tweet. His comment on that was in a tweet, and he took a bunch of flack for it, and he didn't apologize, of course, because he apologizes for nothing, and nor should he.
We'll see. Tyson's comment came out of a lecture that was an hour and a half long, and the naming rights section of it was its own at least 20-minute to half-hour deal, which is kind of one of those things where, you know, the people who are watching these are people who are most likely interested in it. Mm-hmm. And I try to share these things with people so that they see, they have a chance to think about these things and what happened with, you know, his whole comment was basically how many people are living in something equivalent to Europe's Dark Ages with potentially great, you know, who knows how many great minds have not developed because they are suppressed because of their religion.
That's just sad. I mean, it's heartbreaking. We've got to utilize everyone. I mean, there are people who are afraid of like a globalist type. There are people that you know, all these conspiracy theorists talking about the New World Order and all that kind of thing. And there are actually a lot of Christians who believe, well, once we're in a one world, like globalism takes hold, that's when you know the Antichrist is on his way. And
I think they need to listen to Carl Sagan's Pale Blue Dot, personally, which we've ended on.
Yeah, we have ended on that. But and the thing, just kind of quickly, you reminded me of Dawkins taking some heat for pointing out the Nobel Prize disparity between Jews and Muslims and the difference in the wide difference in their world's population. Now, the reason he was taking this crap is people took this as Dawkins was directly attacking Islam. And, well, he wouldn't shy away from that anyway, because Dawkins is a firm believer, and I agree with him in this, that people deserve respect. ideas
Yes.
do not deserve respect. So he basically came back with that and made no apology at all for criticizing Islam. And that's where we're getting off on the wrong foot in the world, I think, is with religion especially. It's people look at it as untouchable, as a taboo topic. Like we cannot criticize each other's religions.
Right.
We can't talk about each other's religious ideas. Well, why not? It's up for debate just as much as anything else. No less than political opinions are open to criticism. Religious ideas are also open to criticism, and they should be, because basically what you just pointed out with bringing this up, an entire culture is being suppressed.
Yeah.
Their creativity, their right to free inquiry is being suppressed because of a religion.
This is, the interesting thing is Sam Harris, Christopher Hitchens, and Dawkins. I've heard all of them talk about Islam in a negative fashion.
Right.
More so than Christianity in terms, I think, just because of how much suppression there has become.
Yes. And it's probably because Christianity's kind of moved beyond its dark age. Well, some people in America want it to go back.
Yeah.
But
I think what you have to look at is these guys are not saying that the people are inherently evil. It's the religion that is inherently evil.
Right.
The people themselves are literally, they're being suppressed. They're not allowed to think for themselves.
yes. And the subscription to the idea of that religion, to that ideology, is dangerous. It's obviously dangerous. And I guarantee that there are plenty of people that are under those theocratic governments that are in their minds just wishing that this wasn't the case.
And I think it needs to be pointed out as well that while we say that Islam is dangerous, sure, there's peaceful elements, but the same goes with Christianity. You think about the history and the fact, women are supposed to be stoned to death. Or if you work on the Sabbath in the First Testament, you're supposed to be stoned to death. Correct?
Right.
Well, it's there.
Whether you want to pretend like it doesn't
It's
matter.
all there. It's just that for whatever reason, Christianity to this point has civilized itself a little bit further down the road.
Right, and it's a little bit older than Islam too.
And that's not to say that, obviously there are Muslims living in the States who are peaceful people.
Right.
It's there. Not everybody's the same.
Yeah, they have to be, the Muslims living in America, because they've come to a new culture where that strict fundamentalism is not acceptable in our country. It's not acceptable for them to be so literal with their religious texts as they are in their own country. So they're basically forced to be more progressive. But I think that they're, even if they didn't want to be more progressive, they would be forced to. But I think they're here because they want to be more progressive. They don't want to be under that oppressive rule.
Yeah, I can see that.
And I think there are plenty of people that are probably there that have no means of getting here, that are probably in their heads in a personal hell. And I think this is a thing that where a lot of, especially people on the left, feel like they should come to the defense of Islam when it's criticized.
Yeah.
Is because, yes, it is a dangerous religion, but you can't assume that every single person that lives in those countries is just like the people that run those countries. Just like people in other countries can't assume that everybody in America is empirical as America's government is.
Right.
In their thinking. So it's just the whole correlation thing. You can't...
You have to be careful with generalizations.
Yeah, you have to. So, but yeah, this...
Thank you, Goldie Blocks,
Goldie
for
Blocks.
doing what you're doing and trying to tell little girls that it's okay to think.
Right. I agree. And
I think it's fantastic.
started with women, and then it led to other countries that are in terrible situations. But
It's
related.
Yeah, it is.
It just seems a little less malignant, I guess, in the case of how we try to feminize little girls and deter them from male-like professions. But yeah.
So, okay, we'll use this as a transition. This I don't want to spend a whole lot of time on this particular subject, but I saw somebody make a post today about, we're kind of going back to the Super Bowl here. The headline of the story that they posted was, Super Bowl 48 believed to have been rigged and currently under investigation by the NFL. So I think that's interesting, and I see the news source as it was being from Hustlers. And I'm thinking to myself, Hustlers? Never heard of that one before. And I decided, okay, I'll go ahead and click on it, because I think it's very possible that this might be Onion-like. If you all know what The Onion is, the Onion.com, which is a satirical news source that just has fun with stories.
It's fucking hilarious.
Yes. So this is actually a short story as well, and it says that after the Seahawks' victory over the Broncos at the NFL's 40th Super Bowl with a final score of 43-8, NFL officials have just discovered that the game was most likely rigged. NFL officials have just found clues that might prove the game was rigged. There's a lot of redundancy in this article.
Yeah.
Like, they stretched it out as far as they could for 3 paragraphs. Officials believe the Broncos intentionally lost the championship game in exchange for a large amount of money. Super Bowl referee Terry McCauley told reporters he sensed something was strange when he overheard Broncos quarterback Peyton Manning allegedly asking Seahawks head coach Pete Carroll, when are you going to pay me, or when are you going to pay up? So they go on to, this is just like that Chicago White Sox scandal back in 1919. I can't believe this. They ruined the sport. I just can't believe it. So I'm reading this and kind of laughing, and it's kind of disgusting. And then okay, here's what I'm getting to. Too often people post stories without doing a little bit of research to see if anybody else is posting the same story.
Right.
And they post a story, and then they'll put a comment like, wow, like they can't believe this, okay? And it's just kind of one of those moments of, this person really believes that this is real. And this is how I discovered that this story was not real. Generally, within the story, it'll have links to other stories within the paper, the news source, okay? And in this particular one, they have, let's see, we have teen arrested for killing brother over Flappy Bird game. That's a headline for another story. Then we have breaking. Chris Brown arrested on assault charges for beating Rihanna again.
Mm-hmm.
Next up, President Barack Obama outlaws twerking. Read why.
So this is basically a website that's the equivalent of like the National Enquirer,
And it's just a joke. All I'm asking, all I want to bring up here is that when you see stories like this, my guess is most of the listeners for our program are thinkers anyway, or want to examine things a little bit more complete.
Right.
You know? I mean, I'm not gonna lie. There's been a time or two where I was fooled by one or two because they look, you know.
I think everybody's
Yeah.
fallen victim to that. I
In
mean,
fact, the one that got me was the Daily Current. It looked legitimate. Like, it really looked legitimate. And then it wasn't until the very end, the very last line, that I thought, wait a second, that's kind of silly. And then, you know, you look at the other stories and you realize, okay, this is a bunch of bullcrap. All I'm asking is that as you read through, you see people posting on Facebook and sharing stories, just kind of look at it. And I came up with, I found a bunch of these that I wanted to share the name of so you would be aware. There's one called The Spoof, which, if that wasn't obvious enough. Then you have The Sports Pickle, which is like an ESPN ripoff. Then you have Unconfirmed Sources. And the Daily Current, as I said. Now, the interesting thing about about Hustlers, which I was just talking about, was if you scroll all the way down to the bottom, you'll see Hustlers. Hustlers.com is a combination of real shocking news and satire news to keep its visitors in a state of disbelief. This is on their website. I mean, they put it out there to tell you that we're fake.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, it's just, it's interesting. So,
Yeah, I agree with you, buddy. I mean, it's you've got to check this. You got to consider the source. Is it reputable? How many other sources are reporting on this? I mean, if they're not, it should tip you off that this may not be the real deal.
I did have to get up on my soapbox. I guess I should, maybe I should read my thing. It said, PSA and soapbox time. Okay, people, you've really got to stop falling for news stories that seem ridiculous. The Onion is the obvious one. Fox News is another. Just kidding. A little bit. Winky face. But there are others. Look at the other headlines and think of the legitimacy of the story. Then, and I know this can be tough, but do a Google search and see if there are other sources to back it up. End rant. Have a nice day. Oh, and welcome to Costco. I love you. I got a lot of positive feedback on that. At least I know I have friends who appreciate what I was trying to say.
Right.
But, anyway, I guess I can be done with that. That was a filler story, if anything. It was just, it annoyed me because I've actually seen college professors fall victim to this, who are people who are supposed to double check their sources. So anyway, I'm done.
Hey,
I guess
it was a worthy rant.
Oh, thank you. Maybe we can have a Mike or Keith rant segment
Yeah.
occasionally. So I guess we'll move on.
You know what really grinds my gears?
You wanted to talk about little outer space stuff.
Oh, yeah. Nothing, I don't want to go, just kind of like you, I don't want to go too far into this, but there is a replacement, you know. The predecessor to this telescope is the Hubble Space Telescope.
Right.
This is the James Webb Space Telescope. It appears that the plans for this have already they're finished. They're ready to start building in anticipation of launching this thing in 2018. It is not a like I said, it's not something really we need to go into a whole lot. I just think it's a cool kind of thing to share with everyone that in a few years we're going to have a bigger, badder space telescope out there that's going to be taking pictures even deeper into the universe and giving us even more insight into our origins. And I just think that's incredibly exciting, and I hate that I have to wait until, and probably even later than 2018 because the photos probably aren't going to be coming back until the next year or so. But it is exciting that it's happening, and they're ready to start building, and it's just another step in human intellectual progress. I mean, I don't think people understand how much space exploration has aided us as a people. I mean,
innovation.
Yeah, the innovation that has come from it. I mean, and even like the funny thing sometimes I hear that I'll see online when you see, because this project is $8.8 billion, and the first thing you're going to hear
It's
from
actually $5 billion over what they originally thought too, I believe.
Right, but the first thing you're going to hear from people on this is that it's a waste of money, and you're gonna have people that ask stupid questions. I've seen this personally, like, what good is taking pictures of space other than giving us some pretty pictures? Well, for one, we're learning how stars form. We're learning
Exactly.
things about planet formation. We're learning through this.
I distracted you. Sorry.
Yeah, it's okay.
He has a "We Fucking Love Atheism" Facebook page on that I have never seen before.
Well, it's a friend of ours posted something that I thought was funny, so I thought, oh, I bet you they have a lot of good stuff here. I'll just read it real quick. Hypocrisy. Bitching that paying for birth control goes against your religious beliefs while expecting atheist taxpayers to pay for your churches.
Okay, that was a side. Continue with
Yeah.
your 8.8 billion telescope.
Okay, but yeah, it's just it's more than just pretty pictures. I mean, we're learning about our origins, and we discussed the innovations. Just Google sometime what innovations have come through space exploration from NASA. And also, if we're talking 8.8 billion, I don't think people realize that NASA's budget and science in general, the budget that is given to them from our government is pretty pathetic.
Pretty minuscule.
And
in comparison.
yeah, and I don't know if I've mentioned it on this show before, but if you want to talk about budgets and spending, check out the United States defense budget in comparison to the rest of the world. The United States defense budget, I believe in 2012 it was something like $680 billion that we spent on defense, which is more than the next 9 countries down the list combined.
Yeah.
Now you tell me that we don't have a little bit of room that we could spread that around for things that will help us progress as a people, for education, for science, for space exploration. Like, tell me that we couldn't spread that around a little bit. Do we need to spend that much money on defense, on the military? I mean, that's overkill.
I'm thinking about a whole lot of education money that could be spent.
Right. And that's the thing. What I like about what Colorado is doing, they're heavily taxing their, they have legal marijuana now.
Right.
They're heavily taxing it. But part of the reason they're heavily taxing it is that tax money is going to go towards education. I didn't know that. They're using a good portion of their sales from their cannabis sales to put into education in Colorado.
That's awesome.
I think that's amazing.
That's fantastic.
And I think that's another side here. The Colorado and Washington is a great experiment for the rest of the country to witness. If it works out in those 2 states, and those states see an upward trend in their economic state, we're going to see a change. And you're already hearing our president speak about, obviously I don't think marijuana is as dangerous as alcohol. Like, it's
any more dangerous than alcohol.
Any more dangerous. It's not as dangerous. I'm going to go ahead and say that. I've done tons of research on this. But there is a definite shift.
You need to write a paper about this.
Yeah. I should.
You need to back up your claim.
I might. There's a definite shift in our thinking as a society even on this.
Yeah.
So, but yeah.
I think what I love about this is, we're spending $8.8 billion on this telescope, which I'm hoping and assuming that it is going to be so much better than what Hubble is.
Mm-hmm.
Hubble is still out there doing amazing work, getting pictures of galaxies and all kinds of stuff.
Right.
And do you know how old Hubble telescope is?
Wasn't it launched in like 1994?
1990.
1990?
Hubble
Okay.
telescope is 24 years old.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And they've made some adjustments to it. They've made improvements to it.
Yes.
But this brand spanking new technology that they're going to be sending out in the next few years, I just cannot wait.
He has a chub.
This is my deal right here.
Last night they played previews for the Cosmos a couple times during the Super Bowl, and the first time that one of the previews came on, I immediately go, yes, I've got my hands up like it's good. I'm sitting next to my wife, and we're over at my dad's house. My dad's laying on the couch almost asleep, and I'm like, yes, and then she texts me, rather than speaking to me, she texts me, and she says, easy with the heart on there. It's so awesome.
That's funny. Mike had a stronger reaction to a commercial about the Cosmos than the game itself.
I am so anxious for the Cosmos. What is it? March 8th is the day? Is that what day?
I think so.
Man, I
am too.
Wait.
I'm very happy about it. I mean, and who better to host the program than Neil deGrasse Tyson? I mean, I think he's is our generation's version of Carl Sagan. I'm not going to say he's Carl Sagan. They're two different kinds of popularizers. I mean, both are actual real scientists and with their PhDs and all kinds of shit.
and let's see. I mean, you have regular cable or satellite, right?
Yes.
So you get to watch it when it airs
Yes.
immediately.
Yes.
So this is what I'm suggesting.
Yeah.
I'm suggesting that I go over to your house the night that it airs,
Uh-huh.
and then you come over to my house the day after so we can watch it on my TV.
On the big TV.
On the big one.
We can watch the original on my little 42-inch screen and the rerun on, what is it, 55-inch?
60.
60-inch.
It's a 60.
Jeez,
It's a
man.
monster. We couldn't help it. I mean, okay, I am not somebody who likes to have big things. In fact, I'm trying really hard to be a minimalist. Doesn't really look like it, but it's where I am. I really want to, but we got this TV because we had purchased a mattress, a brand new mattress, and we paid it off within a year. Well, it turned out we could do the TV the same way,
Right.
and it was less payments than the mattress, and a year same as cash. So I got a new TV.
Who could blame you?
Hey, I watch all kinds of really awesome science documentaries on that damn thing.
Yeah. I'll tell you, Amazon Prime Instant Video.
Oh, man.
That's the thing for science documentaries.
All the Nova specials
Yeah.
and stuff. Oh man, I can't get it. You know, the frustrating thing is I got on there the other day and I saw that there is a new series of Nova, but I can't watch it without paying for it.
Boo.
And it's like, come on, this is PBS. So, anyway, I guess there's that.
Yeah.
That's cool stuff.
Yeah, very cool. I can't wait.
And I guess there's only,
One.
we got we're ending on Keith. We're Keith Strong tonight.
Oh boy. One more topic to go. And this is, I'm going to try very hard not to run too long on this. And, I have a hard time with that when we get onto this topic. But if,
Go ahead.
Oh, those of you that do happen to like our Facebook page may have noticed that I posted a 10 myths and misconceptions, and mischaracterizations of evolution. And I just kind of wanted to comment on a couple of them going through. Number one is the biggest one. Now, a lot of people, when they talk about evolution, that especially those that don't know what they're talking about, tend to be under the impression that evolution spans everything. Evolution, that people that accept evolution are also accepting that life arose from basically chemicals. They're claiming that evolution knows the origin of life. It doesn't. That's a different branch of
Right.
study called abiogenesis. So that actually doesn't have anything to do with evolution. Evolution is not concerned with how we got here. It's why we have so many different species.
Right.
To put it in the dumbest terms possible.
Right.
Like, it's an explanation for the diversity of life on Earth. Okay? That's number one. That's abiogenesis. Another one we'll talk about when we're talking about the evolution, we'll talk about the Big Bang will come up in it. Like, somebody will talk about the Big Bang, like, you believe the Big Bang, and you have to stop them. Whoa, right there. Well, yes, I do accept the Big Bang Theory as it stands. It's not the Big Bang Theory is pretty solid, but it's not quite as solid as evolution, in my personal opinion. Because there are things about the Big Bang Theory we don't know. But anyway, that's what you call the red herring. You're shifting. A red herring is a thing that actually shifts you away from the original topic. And the Big Bang is another thing that is fully separate from the theory of evolution by natural selection. Has nothing to do with it. So don't talk about the Big Bang, or I'm going to just shut you down right away if you're going to be debating me over evolution. That's cosmology, okay? All right. Let's see. Do I want to go to the next one? Evolution. Yeah, we've driven this home a million times. Evolution is
Yeah.
just a theory, but obviously, theories are more than saying like, I have a theory about why the Colts lost the Super Bowl, or something like that. You know, like
I want to start hearing people say, I have a hypothesis on why they
Yeah.
lost. That'd be
right.
great.
Well, the hypothesis has to be testable for it to be a hypothesis too. So, to be a scientific hypothesis, you have to be able. It has to be falsifiable. So if you throw something out there for a hypothesis that you can't test, then it's not even a hypothesis.
Okay.
Okay, so we know that
Technicalities.
yes, we know that a scientific theory is completely different from the word theory in its colloquial use. Okay, I've talked about that in previous shows. We don't need to do it again.
Yes.
Let's see. I'm gonna skip the next one. The next one, you can all read these yourself. And this one I really liked. Evolution undermines human worth and dignity. How? That one just confuses me, and I've heard this before. I've heard that if evolution is true, then we're no better than any other creature on Earth.
What's our
no,
purpose?
there you go. You nailed it. We're not. Our life may be more valuable to us as a species because obviously we're going to be concerned with our own species, and we're going to want to propagate our species, and
Yeah.
we want the best for our species. Well, you would think, with people killing each other all the time over religions and other kinds of political bullshit and resources and blah blah blah. But if you really think about it, why is your life more valuable than the life of any other thing on the planet? Why is it? And the only reason you would think that is if you believe in the God of some kind of religion. Humans so badly want to feel that we are special, that we are something completely special in the universe. And in a way, I guess I feel we kind of are special because we have been so lucky to have evolved into cognitive beings.
Yeah.
We can think, we can contemplate our surroundings, we can learn about our surroundings, we can pool our collective knowledge and pass it on to the next generation, and they can build upon it and build upon it and build upon it. So yeah, in that sense, we are special, but we're not special just for being, humans. We are just, people say we didn't come from apes. Not only did we come from apes, we are apes. Human beings are apes. I'm sorry. It's the harsh truth. Have you ever looked at Google a picture sometime of a hairless chimpanzee? I saw this on some YouTube video the other day. Somebody said, Google a picture of a hairless chimpanzee. I'm not saying that proves evolution. Well, it's art because that's being done constantly. Not proving, but there's tons of evidence for it, and we all know this. People who are of sound intellectual mind.
There is also the fact that as we are in our mother pre-birth, there is a time frame where we have a layer of hair,
Yeah, Lanugo.
and then we shed it because it's no longer needed.
Right. And we also briefly have, some people are born with vestigial tails. Like, that is a remnant. That's in human beings a pseudogene, a gene that is normally gets shut off, but somewhere in development this didn't get shut off quite in time, and someone's born with a vestigial tail. So if you map the human genome, there's all kinds of. That's another thing. It's absolutely ridiculous how many things that you can see in the human genome that. What?
Were you looking for your drink?
No, I thought I dropped something.
Oh, okay.
How many things how many traits that you'll find that were previously utilized by us but no longer are. They're canceled out. They're considered pseudogenes. But that's really all I wanted to get into. Like, it's a great article. I'm trying to keep it brief because if I went through every point on that thing, this show would be another hour long.
Yeah, I was gonna say we could almost center the entire show on this alone.
Right. And I don't want to do that to everyone. But
I think it deserves a read.
yeah, check it out. That's a hairless chimpanzee. I'm showing Mike a picture.
We may have to post that picture on Facebook just so people can see it.
Yeah.
That's rather interesting.
I mean, it just
seeing the muscle definition.
yeah. I mean,
your clavicle, your collarbone. I mean, you can see. That's interesting.
I mean, you can't look at a picture like that. I mean, you can look at them with their hair and tell that.
Similar, as in, you know, I don't know what their bones are, but like we would have the radius and the ulna and the forearm.
Mm-hmm.
That's I mean, you can tell the definition is very similar to ours.
Right.
Oh
I mean,
my god, that's cool as hell.
Yeah, it's obvious that we're related. It's obvious that we're related. Not only are we related, we're basically of the same, you know, we're apes. We are apes. We're highly evolved apes.
We have, we're closest related to chimpanzees.
Bonobos and chimpanzees are our closest relatives, and we seem to be more like bonobos than chimpanzees. As we more, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah. It's just, yeah. People need to get over there. It's interesting to see the similarities. I mean, they are there.
No, they're right in your face. But yeah, that's it. Then the last one, I guess I should throw this out there. It counters my religious beliefs. That's number 10. Yep. Think about that for a second.
I find it most interesting that, yes, it does counter religious beliefs, yet so many people agree that evolution is there,
Right.
who are of faith.
Right. And you know what? To those people, I say wonderful. Like, I welcome you.
Yes, yes.
Like, I think
definitely.
I think it's great. I mean, I don't understand.
It's just like any of our liberal Christian friends.
Right, because obviously,
Progressive Christian friends.
I mean, we've talked about the whole creation story and the whole Adam and Eve thing, and I don't believe Adam and Eve were literal people, yet part of the reason that Christ was crucified was to, you know, the whole original sin thing.
Mm-hmm.
So Christ obviously believed Adam and Eve were literal people and that he was dying for their sin and the sins that are to happen after his death. And I don't know. There's a verse somewhere in, I think it's Romans, that talks about one of the reasons Christ died was to make up for the sins of Adam. And that's part of the whole doctrine of salvation. So if you don't believe Adam was a real person and that Adam and Eve weren't really just created from the dust of the ground, from the rib of Adam, and you accept evolution, then what does that do to the whole concept of Christianity and salvation?
Yeah, it kind of, I think at that point, then you just have people who are using it as their philosophy.
Speaking of that, one of these days we'll get that thing out there.
What's that?
That little video project we've been doing.
Oh, yes, yes.
Yeah. We teased that last week, I think.
Yeah, we did. I've been holding back because I've been busy, but I do have. Keith wrote a pretty amazing paper, if you will, explaining. Well, anyway, I don't know that maybe we should really talk a whole lot about it until it's actually done. But
yeah, let's refrain from giving away the whole.
we had a little fun.
Oh, it was fun. Yeah.
We're gonna turn it into a video, an actual video. I will make an actual video out of it. That'll be cool. I've never had a narrated video such as this to work on, so I got to get on that.
Yes.
He's been like, why aren't you finished this yet?
Nah, I haven't bugged you once. What are you talking about?
No, I know.
Now, just for the fun of it, I'll read that verse I was talking about, where it's Romans 5:12. I'll read the King James Bible because that's the one true translation. Wherefore, as by one man sin entered into the world, and death by sin, and so death passed upon all men, for all that have sinned. So if we want to get it in more current terms, the New International Version, therefore, just as sin entered the world through one man, and death through sin, and in this way death came to all people, because all sinned. So basically that's saying Adam was the first to sin,
Right.
and that's part of the reason why Jesus has to die, because ever since then God had been disgusted with his creation. But then he decides, well, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna send myself down in human form and live amongst them, and then I'm gonna kill myself. I'm gonna make sure I'm killed. That way, then everybody can be saved. So again, we say he's gonna sacrifice himself to save us all from himself.
I can't help it. It's, man, when you think about things like that, and then you say them to people, and they're just, you get that moment of, I feel like I've been caught. How am I going to get myself out of this? And
Yeah. And maybe there are some people that don't really believe all of that. They just kind of like the Christian philosophy, like they think it's a good way to give themselves structure in their life. I don't know. If that's you,
we laugh.
that's fine.
But it's,
But
we love you. We love everyone. we only laugh because, I mean, it's kind of funny to us.
yeah, I kind of sometimes think to myself, how did I ever believe that? But yep, it's funny. I was telling my wife the other day that as I've become an atheist, it's like it's opened up when I think deeply, think critically, think about like existential topics and things like that. I will randomly have memories of when I was having thoughts similar to these as a child, and as in like a preteen and early teens. And I remembered that one of the things that helped me stop being so inquisitive, and because I desired nothing more as a kid than to feel like I fit in. And when I would ask these questions, they weren't welcome. And I'm not saying that anything bad about anybody in my family. They were just doing what they thought was best for me. They truly love me, and they thought that this is best. Right. But when I had questions about things like that, they weren't welcome. And one thing I think that got me through this and allowed me to be able to get rid of that distraction was another distraction. I think I filled that when I started playing guitar. I had so much focus on that guitar that I was able to stop thinking about those things.
It makes sense, especially knowing how good you are. I mean, you played a lot of guitar.
Yeah, and my dream was to become a professional musician after I learned how much I loved playing the guitar, and that's all I could think about. And I didn't have to think about these deep questions anymore that made me feel alien to my own family. But then when I realized I wasn't going to be a musician anymore, mysteriously these things started surfacing again.
Mysteriously.
Like, I really think there's a connection there, but that's just me.
Well, I think we're probably there. We're at the end of the show.
I think so. I think we should be, at least.
I think we babbled and rambled as much as we possibly could. Somehow we managed to hit 1 hour and 29 minutes.
Yup.
I'm like, how are we doing this? I hope we weren't boring. I hope there were some interesting parts.
Yeah.
I always,
And I'm not in my best form today either. I'm a little scatterbrained today.
Oh, you did have a pretty, philosophy?
A psychology exam
test
today.
So, yeah.
I wasn't very prepared for the show.
Yeah, we failed everyone today. But on a positive note, we did find a really cool clip to end on.
We did.
Yes.
Richard Feynman.
Yes. So, thanks for listening. If you want to email us and tell us how much we sucked on this show, you're more than welcome.
Yeah.
Beinghumanist.podcast@gmail.com. Again, find us on Facebook, facebook.com/beinghumanist. That was kind of scary.
Yeah.
Did I? Maybe you died.
I might have done.
Yeah. It sounds like you died. But that's okay. We're at the end of the show anyway.
I'm dead.
You can speak into my chest.
I just want to say, keep thinking.
Check the show. Yeah, get us on iTunes, obviously. Beinghumanist.podcast@gmail.com, youtube.com/beinghumanistpodcast, and facebook.com/beinghumanist.podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, please keep thinking. Enjoy your day and enjoy. Richard Feynman. As Keith nods because he can no longer speak.
If you expected science to give all the answers to the wonderful questions about what we are, where we're going, what the meaning of the universe is, and so on, then I think you could easily become disillusioned and then look for some mystic answer to these problems. We're exploring, we're trying to find out as much as we can about the world. People say to me, are you looking for the ultimate laws of physics? No, I'm not. I'm just looking to find out more about the world. And if it turns out there is a simple ultimate law that explains everything, so be it. That would be very nice to discover. If it turns out it's like an onion with millions of layers and we're just sick and tired of looking at the layers, then that's the way it is. But whatever way it comes out, its nature is there and she's going to come out the way she is. And therefore, when we go to investigate it, we shouldn't pre-decide what it is we're trying to do except to find out more about it. And so altogether, I can't believe the special stories that have been made up about our relationship to the universe at large, because they seem to be too local, too provincial. The earth, he came to the earth. One of the aspects of God came to the earth, mind you. And look at what's out there. How can it isn't in proportion. And also another thing has to do with the question of how do you find out if something's true? And if you have all these theories of the different religions, have all different theories about the thing, then you begin to wonder. Once you start doubting, which I think to me is a very fundamental part of my soul, is to doubt and to ask. And when you doubt and ask, it gets a little harder to believe. I can live with doubt and uncertainty and not knowing. I think it's much more interesting to live not knowing than to have answers which might be wrong. I have approximate answers and possible beliefs and different degrees of certainty about different things, but I'm not absolutely sure of anything, and there are many things I don't know anything about. But I don't have to know an answer. I don't feel frightened by not knowing things, by being lost in the mysterious universe without having any purpose, which is the way it really is as far as I can tell, possibly. It doesn't frighten me.